Today is a glorious day because today we get to talk more about SoFi and the market is red. Why is it glorious when the market is red? Because that means there is interesting stuff to talk about. Have no worries. We're going to dive into a lot of things in this video today because we did just get a new piece of data. The market is kind of really taking it negatively, even though the piece of data is really supporting a rate cut even more. But the data came in a little like, whenever I wear a black shirt, by the way, it kind of goes into my green screen. I don't know why. So if you see my shirt disappear in a way, I'm not naked or anything like that. It's part of the green screen. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for watching and clicking on this video. If you enjoy this content, please smash the like button. It's entirely free. I am a raging SoFi bull. I'm going to be talking about my public profile in this video. This video is going to be primarily dedicated to SoFi, but I'm also going to be covering some other stocks to the end of this video as well. I'll try to keep this relatively short and simple. And if you want to see future content as well, please smash the subscribe button. Would love to get to 100 subscribers and then eventually, let's say 250, then 500, 1,000, etc. Not my first time posting on YouTube. I started this channel over a year ago, really just messing around. Then I had to take a break from it for a little bit to fix some health issues. All good now, all healed, and everything's really, really good. I was eating too much damn sugar. Sugar! Not good. Also, it's kind of pretty much Satan in a way. So, okay. Yesterday's video actually did get a pretty decent amount of views. We're rocking with 41 strong subscribers here. Yesterday's video hasn't even been posted for 24 hours, and we're at like 45 views. Anytime that your video gets more than your subscribers, it definitely hits good algorithms. And I know there is a really strong algorithm about SoFi on YouTube, which is really, it's good, but it's also bad. Why is it good? Because it shows that retail, people like me, I'm a small fish in a big pond. Yes, I obviously do have more money invested into the stock market than a lot of other people, but at the end of the day, I am still a small fish in a big pond. Even if I was a multi-millionaire, retail multi-millionaire investor, I'd still be a small fish in a big pond. So therefore, the fact that I am sitting here talking about SoFi, and there's so many other various SoFi YouTubers as well too, and we're all retail, it shows that this stock is very much retail invested. What other stock out there was heavily retail invested that people made life-changing money in? Yes, Palantir. So the premise of this video is going to be talking about SoFi. Is SoFi the next Palantir? Or has the party already pretty much begun? And am I just kind of really talking about the same notion repeatedly? Probably more than likely. Who really knows? Okay, so I just want to give you all a Bitcoin update really quick, because we've been tracking Bitcoin on this channel. I have. Bitcoin is a hedge to the NASDAQ. So if the NASDAQ is going up, Bitcoin's going up. If people want to be risk on, they're going to buy Bitcoin. They're going to buy cryptocurrency. Bitcoin's going to go up. If people are like, then Bitcoin's going to go down. A couple weeks ago, we had massive fear. Massive fear. During this time, I was buying a lot of stock. I ended up buying over close to $30,000 hard cash. I do not trade on margin. I personally don't believe in it. I believe in working hard, making capital, taking capital, investing it to better your life. Not blowing it up your nose or going to a titty bar. Done those disgusting things before in my life. Never again. And yes, bettering your life. Making great educated investments, and then you take your winnings and you better your life around it. But we basically just been in a very fearful last like couple of months now, and it's really fear. Earnings were phenomenal, utterly remarkable. So Bitcoin is holding above this 90K, and it's very important that we see Bitcoin stay above 90K. If Bitcoin can slowly trend back to 100K by the Federal Reserve meeting next week, that will be phenomenal. There is a possibility. There is a possibility that we do something like this. We go up and then boom. Now we are at the bottom. And we could bottom around Christmas. So we basically don't have a Santa Claus rally. We get a piece of shit for Christmas by Santa Claus. Billy Bob Thornton is Santa Claus this year for the stock market. Yeah. I did just say we're going to get a piece of shit. Billy Bob Thornton, Bad Santa. Oh, I got to rewatch those movies. We could very well sell off and create another bottom around 80K, or rather it's not going to be another bottom. It's just we go to the bottom back in late November, a couple weeks ago. And from there in January, boom, we basically rally out of this fearful time frame. That's a possibility. What is another possibility for Bitcoin in the stock market? Well, the possibility for Bitcoin in the stock market is screw it. We basically just go risk on. Okay, if we do this, well, I am positioned. I am ready. I am ready for either way. The point of the matter is that if you've been following me on here, I have bought the fear. Up until a couple weeks ago, I was very underinvested in the stock market. Highly underinvested. Close to 30 grand is now deployed into the stock market, into assets. My public profile here, which we'll get to soon in this video. Where are you, public profile? So, I did actually buy another share of a stock last night. But 3,900 bucks. You're talking a little under. Actually, no, that's a little over 10% underinvested. I'm okay with that because guess what? A couple weeks ago, I was very much underinvested. In my Robinhood account, my main private profile, I was heavily underinvested. So I feel comfortable now being invested. If the stock market goes up, that's awesome. Sure, I have 3,900 bucks that I haven't touched. I'm holding a lot of capital still in my main profile, but a lot less capital. I have a lot less capital in my savings and in my bank accounts, which makes me feel good because I bought the fear. I ended up deploying damn near all of my capital during Liberation Day back in April, and I sold a little bit too early. And yes, I am a long-term investor in some stocks, and I'm also a trader in other stocks as well because I want to continue to build cash and also buy the fear. I'm not just looking to buy stock and hold every single stock for 10 years. I honestly think that's a little ridiculous because fundamentally, a stock may change. And if the company does not change fundamentally, maybe the economy changes, which impacts the stock. So therefore to say, hey, I'm going to hold this stock for 10 years, that's silly. SoFi, I feel comfortable holding for 10 years. But if something happens, which we're going to be talking about momentarily, my game plan is going to entirely change. That's how it is. That's being a trader, and you got to accept that. Long-term investors, they get enraged, which I don't know why. I really don't. Like, there's nothing wrong to say you're buying a stock to hold for 10 years. Morning water, cheers. And then something fundamentally happens to the economy that impacts the stocks, the company's business strategy, or the business strategy of the company changes. So, I mean, anything can happen. If that happens, are you going to hold on for the next 10 years for maybe dead money? No. You're going to get out of that position, take your profits, and move on. Okay, you were expecting to make 10x on your money in 10 years. Well, guess what? You made 5x on your money. That is a win-win chicken dinner. But a lot of people really struggle with that notion. So that's definitely a struggle for long-term investors. I try to look at every struggle and really zoom out of a lot of situations here. But one of the struggles for me is that sometimes I do get out of stocks a little bit too early. I'm actually really good at getting into stocks. A lot of times I do exit out a little too soon. So that is something that I'm growing as a trader. Been in the stock market since 2020, and I'm definitely getting better and better at it as basically pretty much the same thing happens. Stock market goes up, pulls back, buy in, you buy the fear, you rally up further, maybe you have another dip, maybe you get in a little bit more, and then you shoot up and you're like, hey, I want to take some profits, but you don't end up selling like a third or maybe 40-50% of your position all in one chuck. You slowly nibble out of it a little bit. I still have a little bit of a day trading mentality in me. So that's really my whole spiel on it. But moving back into a trader's mentality. 2020, 21, I was pretty much a trader, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. 22, kind of like a hybrid. 23, got my ass whooped. 24, so much better. And then this year, closing on a great note as well, too. Okay, so anyways, moving away from Bitcoin, we'll get back to pretty much public profile here. Talking a little bit about, actually, I want to talk about, no, we'll save this to the end. Was going to talk about Meta, just pretty much nosediving here a little bit. Still up a good amount. But let's go to the economical data really quickly, and then we'll pretty much dive into SoFi, which is the main point of today's video. Okay, so economical data that came out today. Thursday, we had initial jobless claims came in definitely lower. It is kind of really, it's giving the market a little push down, but then again, it signals a rate cut. So I am feeling extremely, I'm actually feeling more confident that SoFi, I'm feeling more confident that we have a better odds of a rate cut by the Federal Reserve next week than we have a shot at SoFi getting into the S&P 500. If we don't get into the S&P 500 this Friday, we could experience a nut tap, but that nut tap could very well be lifted because of a rate cut. And if the Federal Reserve gets their heads out of their asses and actually does what is right, which is we really should be getting a 50 basis point rate cut, yes, a 50 point basis rate cut, that will give this entire year, it would give this year one whole basis point decrease, because we cut interest rates by what? 25%, and now we're looking at another 25%. Like, that's like nothing. The economy really doesn't see the benefits of a rate cut until 12 to 18 months out. So therefore, if the economy is slipping and the labor department is going down to Chinatown, we need higher rate cuts. The Federal Reserve did a 50-point basis rate cut for no damn reason other than to be a political scumbag right before the presidential election last year. Yeah, it was literally to help out Kamala Harris. Literally helped her. And if you don't believe me, go and do some research on what political party Jerome Powell is affiliated with. Give me a break. Okay, I am, when it comes to politics, I'm pretty much a conservative libertarian. I can't stand both parties, but I mean, give me a damn break. Whoever is going to be replacing Jerome Powell is going to be aligned to the Republicans. Is that not political? Of course it's political. Of course it is. It's 100% political. So the Federal Reserve is a political joke, in my opinion. But that's pretty much what is gonna cause the rate cuts or rate slowage. So the data that we got today is definitely shaking up the market. And SoFi, if we do not get into the S&P 500 this Friday, well then SoFi could very well experience a solid nut tap. And as you basically see, SoFi in the 5-minute time frame, we are selling off. Not by a huge amount. To be honest, staying above this 28.40, it seems to be pretty strong. We got one bottom all the way pretty much last week. Thanksgiving holiday week, strong 20, anything above $28. So $28 Tuesday of last week, Wednesday as well. And then Friday pretty much rallied from a low of 28 all the way up to 29. So as long as we maintain $28, it's basically pretty much the bottom right now, like on the weekly time frame on SoFi. If we break below $28, we're looking some support here at the mid 27s. And then if we go even lower, we're talking about 26s. And then if we want to even fall off a cliff even more, 23, give me a break. If SoFi goes below $25 again, I'm going to be buying more shares. But we could get a kick in the nuts by not being accepted into the not being accepted into the S&P 500, and we could then rally if we do get a rate cut. That could be one real thing. Okay, so to move into the bread and butter of this video here, after rambling on. Hopefully you found value rambling on, but it's good rambling on. It's good stuff that you got to talk about. Because a lot of people don't talk about the good stuff. And to be honest, a lot of people just try to spoof up content as much as possible. I am currently a shareholder of Palantir. I have been in and out of this stock several times, and I have made money every time that I have been in and out of this stock. I first got into this stock, or rather, I actually learned about this stock when it was actually $8. I got into this stock when it was in the teens. $14, $15, $16, I was buying like crazy. The stock shot up, it ran, I sold in the mid-20s. I made money. A lot of money. Not life-changing money, but I made thousands of dollars. Profitability. Very happy. The stock then went above 30. I got back in. I sold in the 60s. 100%. Made money. Liberation Day happened. Got back in on both my accounts. On this account, my Webull account, and also on my private account. I had two accounts with SoFi averages. Got back in. And boom. Stock shot up. Sold out. I made money. Money in my tummy. Actually, money everywhere. Every time. And now I'm back in the stock. Every time I'm in Palantir, I make money. If I had held Palantir if I had held Palantir, I got to pull up my handy dandy calculator because you're not. This is hard. I don't drink alcohol anymore. But last year before I quit drinking alcohol, I did the math on this and I'm like, holy banana farts. When I was buying Palantir in the teens, I ended up having, ironically, about the same amount of money that I ended up buying into SoFi with on my private account. A little bit over $12,000. Keep it simple. So $12,000. Let's just go ahead, divide by 15 bucks. I believe that I had roughly around a little under 800 shares. Over 750, but let's go ahead and use this as an example. 800 shares. Okay, so 800 shares. If I had held on to Palantir, 800 shares right now of Palantir, 176. That is life-changing money. 140 grand, that is life-changing money. That is beyond a 10x return. That is life-changing money. You can take that money and you can better your life. You can better your family's life. You can do something very kind for animals. You can do a lot. You can pay off debt. You can get out of financial slavery. You can maybe go on a dream vacation, buy a dream house, buy a dream car. Whatever is going to better your mind, your soul, your body, your life, you can do that. If you were to blow that up your nose or to shoot it into your veins, that would be terrible. You are killing your body, utterly destroying your body. And unfortunately, that is the dark side, because whether or not people like to admit this, we are making money in the stock market with Lucifer, Satan, the devil. But it's all about what you do with your earnings, your winnings. It's all about what you do with your profits and money. Are you going to take your profits and take your money and go and do bad stuff? Or are you going to better your life? Plain and simple. So, what if hypothetically SoFi is Palantir 2.0? What if hypothetically we're seeing the same trend from Palantir emerge in SoFi? Is it a possibility? Because if we look on Palantir, theoretically, I actually never did this on Palantir, but theoretically, you can say Palantir was in a falling wedge. So this is basically pretty much a falling wedge. You take pretty much the top of the all-time high and you draw a line, and what you see is pretty much a wedge, a falling wedge. A falling wedge is bullish. Obviously, an ascending wedge is bearish. Falling wedge, there's going to be an important time, as long as the management team executes, you're going to bust out. You're going to break out. SoFi, oh, Lord. We were in a falling wedge for a very long time, and we busted out, and we've just been out of this falling wedge since. So a lot of people are saying SoFi is Palantir 2.0. Do I believe SoFi is going to get the same multiple as Palantir? No, that would be silly and ridiculous. Do I believe that SoFi is going to shoot up to $210 in the next year and a half like Palantir did? No, that would be utterly ridiculous. Would that make me sell out of a lot of shares on SoFi, hypothetically, if it did? Yeah. I think any long-term investor would be taking profits at that point. Who wouldn't? Could SoFi be 50% of what Palantir is? So instead of SoFi going to 200 and 210, 20 bucks in the next couple of years, could SoFi go to 100, 110, 120 bucks in the next couple of years? Yeah, that's a possibility. If the management team continues to get away from lending because right now lending is over 50% of SoFi's revenue. But if SoFi can get away from lending and decrease, so this way, during the next recession that we have, a no shit recession, SoFi can use the excuse of, hey, our lending department is going to be getting a little hit. It's going to happen. But we have this massive technology that's going to increase profits, and we're not going to die. That is going to be awesome. You're going to see banks sell off like crazy. Banks do not do good during recessions. They don't. They're actually really good for dividends, because they'll go ahead and pay high dividends during recessions. I believe they do. Don't quote me on that. But I'm almost positive banks will issue dividends during recessions to basically to keep shareholders locked in. But right now, we need Wall Street to pull their head out of their ass, and I believe they're doing it on purpose. I'm sorry, but I do not believe that Wall Street are dumb people. I believe that Wall Street are the smartest people in the world, but they play dumb for a reason. I am on that side of the spectrum. Why do I believe that? Because I've seen a lot of evil people on this planet. Military background, Afghan vet, United States Marine Corps for many, many years. I've seen bad people. Are there bad people running companies, hedge funds? Yeah. Do we forget about Bernie Madoff? A lot of us have. There are bad people. It's just how it is. There's corruption. I believe personally that SoFi is suppressed for a reason, and the reason I believe it's suppressed is because Wall Street does not want this stock to get too high before they dive into it to eat up all the shares. Right now, Wall Street, did I say Wall stock? Yeah, Wall Street is heavily invested into all the chip companies. They are heavily invested into Nvidia. They are heavily invested into Amazon, Google now, Meta, the Mag 7. They know SoFi exists. They're not stupid. They know what SoFi is doing. They're not stupid. They're just overly invested, in my opinion, into other companies. And until these other companies show that, hey, their growth rates are really slowing down, let's go ahead and move our money into the next best thing, that's when SoFi is going to take off. So, yes, I do see SoFi getting a hybrid multiple, and that's what Wall Street is lagging. Once we understand, is Wall Street valuing SoFi as a bank or a fintech or a hybrid? It's probably going to be a hybrid. So if SoFi is going to be getting a hybrid, that could literally mean from right now, SoFi is going to 5x, maybe 6, 7x in the course of the next 3-5 years. But the moment Wall Street says that SoFi is a fintech, boom, the stock is exploding. Wall Street needs to get into SoFi and then say, hey, it's a fintech. Woo! Funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah, it is pretty funny. So that's my personal opinion. Do I believe that SoFi is Palantir 2.0? I believe that SoFi is Palantir 1.5. 1.5 being that, yes, it is showing a lot of similarities, and we could very well be getting into the S&P 500 and then just boom, rocket ship, baby. But are we going to boom rocket ship to 200, or are we going to boom rocket ship to maybe $60, $70, $75? Anthony Noto has a big pay package. I personally believe we can boom rocket ship to 45. I believe there's a Fibonacci level if we go even higher to the 60s. And then I believe 90 and then above 120. So yes, it's possible. SoFi at $200, that would give me a lot of anxiety. Now, SoFi at $200 in 10 years, that would be pretty good. That would be actually really good. But we could very well see SoFi. I mean, hey, it's all about the management team. Okay, so we talked about SoFi, Palantir. Let's go on to the public profile here. Like I said, I got $3,900 to deploy on here. I did buy one more share. I did buy another share. What share did I buy? Let's see. Last night, I ended up buying one share of AMD. Why did I buy one share? What the hell, man? You can't even see it. Where are you? Up, here it is. I see it now. I apologize. My screen is all messed up. I bought one share of AMD last night. Why did I buy one share of AMD? Because hypothetically, if I am wrong about SoFi, which I don't believe I am, but if I am wrong about SoFi, AMD is basically pretty much my hedge when it comes to capital. AMD is obviously in the chip sector, and yes, I have been in and out of Nvidia, but I believe the growth of AMD soaking up the market shares, is a lot greater. AMD in 3 to 5 years, I really see their growth rates. Lisa Su said that the growth rates are going to be 35%. They could very well be 40% because I've done a lot of listening to Lisa Su and their conference calls, just like I've listened to Anthony Noto of SoFi. Lisa Su, it's called sandbagging. Lisa Su will say, oh, we're going to do 35%, boom, 40%, boom, 45%, boom, 50%. Ah! What it does is it makes people FOMO into the stock. Lisa Su does not pump her own stock, but fundamentally, she kind of does in a way. Because she'll go ahead and say, hey, we're only going to grow by 35%. Boom. Hey, 40%. Whoa. People FOMO on in. That causes the stock to go up. She pumps her stock by execution. Power to the shareholders. She pumps her stock by executing, by being a great CEO. She doesn't pump her stock by being a piece of shit. Like a company that I covered last year, day trading, aka a company that's not even on the NASDAQ anymore. It got delisted. She pumps her stock by execution. That is awesome. Love her. So I feel comfortable holding a $6,000 position at AMD. I even feel comfortable if I make AMD my, so AMD on here is my second largest position. Ironically, in my private profile, SoFi is my biggest position. AMD is my second largest position too. I may deploy more money into AMD and get it to maybe a 20 to 25% like position. I actually may increase my AMD shares so SoFi on this account is the same as AMD. My average on AMD on my main profile is it's very low. Low 100s. Obviously on here my cost basis on AMD is 206 in some change. But my SoFi average on my main profile is $7.41. SoFi, I'm good unless they break down below $25. I'm not going to add any more. Palantir, I wish that I was buying more aggressively. I'm good on Palantir. Robinhood, I wish that I was buying more aggressively. We're already up by 23%. The stock, Robinhood is V-shaped recovery all the way back to 150, baby. Let's go. AMD stagnated. AMD could fall below $200 again. If AMD gets below $200 here, I'm buying more AMD shares. At that point, I'm probably going to push AMD to a 25% position on this account. Meta. Beautiful V-shaped recovery. Meta is recovering. Meta actually did release a statement, and Meta is up by 4% today. It was as high as 7% here. Meta did release a statement looking to cut the metaverse budget. Meta fell off a cliff because they are spending more money than they are generating. But their money generated this quarter was the highest it's ever been in the company's history. As soon as they stop spending money, the stock's going to be $1,000. So, beautiful. Meta is beautiful. To be honest, I kind of wish I bought a couple more shares of Meta. Honest Company is a straight risk-on asset here. Honest Company, they're doing a transformation. If Honest Company goes to the high $3 again, I may sell out of this position, take like a solid maybe $500-600 of profit. And to be honest, depending what the price of AMD is, I may put it into AMD, or I may get into another risk-on play. Adobe, I just started buying Adobe last week. Adobe's earnings are next week. Depending what Adobe does, I may add some more. I really believe that Adobe is highly undervalued with just about everything out there because it's all fear. Absolute fear. Adobe is people in Adobe is fearful of AI, but we just saw an 800% of AI spending and buying from retail consumers year over year. I use Adobe. People use Adobe. This stock could very well double up again over the next year. If the stock doubles up, I'll sell out of the position. I'll look at other positions. So I am very much, and by the way, I showed my friend my profile. He lost his shit because he's like, dude, your entire profile is risk on. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. If you want to argue against it, sure, argue against me. I will say that my friend, he buys major indexes. He'll buy SPY. He'll buy the Q. Ironically, he really doesn't do anything with the Russell 2000, which I don't understand why. If you're buying the SPY and the Q, why the hell don't you buy the Russell? He buys companies like Walmart, Costco. Very, very much follows Jim Cramer. Okay, you do you. I believe personally that the only real risk asset is Honest. Because I look at all the management teams, SoFi, Palantir, Robinhood, AMD, Meta, Adobe, all their management teams are executing. Honest. Transformation. They're getting rid of bad products on their balance sheet and they're going to good products. A transformation. Shareholders don't like that. Sure, I'll risk my capital. Absolutely. SoFi. Already recovering. Okay, SoFi is green here. Once again, the market needs to digest the bad data, and boom, we're green. Public account. We started out today with a little bit of a red on the day's P&L. Now we're green. On a closing note, if you haven't been following, basically taking this public profile to do a challenge, $30,000 in the course of 12 to 18 months. I would like to grow it to 6 figures. Is that possible? It is. I'm not a gambler. I'm also not a super wealthy dude, but I have a lot of knowledge and I also fear God. I don't fear the damn, ooh, everything's going to zero, nonsense. If you found value in this video, please, like I said, smash like. I've definitely rambled on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully with a shorter video. I apologize again. And later.